Greetings, candidates, and welcome to the study of communication skills. We are on the topic writing skills. In our today's session, we are going to study sentence construction and paragraph development. These are two things: sentence construction and paragraph development. We'll begin by defining sentence. What is a sentence? Now, candidates, a sentence is a set of words which makes up a complete thought. A sentence is a set of words which make up a complete thought. And it achieves this by following a set of grammatical rules to convey a statement, to convey a question, to convey a command, and so on. And candidates, a sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with either a full stop, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. And usually, candidates, a sentence contains a subject and always contains a verb. And in every business communication or business writing, sentences should be written clearly in order to enable the reader to understand the message that is being conveyed. So that's the meaning of a sentence. We will move now to discuss the characteristics of effective sentences. Characteristics of effective sentences. Now, the first feature or characteristic of an effective sentence is unity. Unity. Now, candidates, a sentence containing one idea at a time with all its parts contributing to strengthen the main idea is called unity of a sentence. Unity of a sentence. All right? All its parts contributing to strengthen the main idea. Because remember, you said that a sentence is a set of words which makes up a complete thought or a complete idea. So an effective sentence is one whose all parts contribute to strengthen the main idea. And that is one feature of an effective sentence. The second feature is that of coherence. Coherence. Now, how the various parts of a sentence are sticking together with no words inappropriate is what we are calling coherence. The sentences or the words should be arranged in a certain order, a logical order that makes sense. Cohere. The words should cohere. All right? So coherence is a characteristic of an effective sentence. The third feature can be explained under one word: variety. Variety. The idea, candidates, can be creatively expressed in a variety of sentences as the same kind of thought or idea creates monotony. So when communicating sentences, there has to be variety of ways in which sentences are constructed. Because if sentences are constructed within using the same words, then that may lead to what we call monotony. The third or fourth characteristic is that of economy. Economy is another feature of an effective sentence. Now, candidates, by economy, I mean the effectiveness of a sentence. And the effectiveness of a sentence is judged by the number of words that are used to make a sentence take its shape. and concise expressions increase the effectiveness of a sentence. All right? Conciseness. Concise. Number 5, proper selection. Proper selection. There should be precise selection and appropriate choice of words. All right? There should be proper selection of words, because you have said a sentence is a set of words which makes up a complete thought. So an effective sentence is where or one in which words have been selected properly. The 6th obvious characteristic is that one of simplicity. Simplicity. All right? Candidates, the choice of words, their consistency and simplicity in choice of a pattern gives a sentence an overall simple outlook. So a sentence should be simple, because the purpose of constructing sentences is to communicate. It's important that when developing sentences, then the words that are used, they should be words that are easily understood. There should be that element of simplicity when constructing sentences. So these are the characteristics of effective sentence. We've defined what a sentence is. Let us now move on to discuss paragraph development. Paragraph development. Paragraph development. First of all, we will define a paragraph. What is a paragraph? A paragraph, candidates, is simply a collection of sentences which relate to the main idea or topic. A paragraph, I've said, is a collection of sentences, is a collection of sentences. A paragraph is a collection of sentences. First of all, we said that a sentence is a collection of words or a set of words. A paragraph, on the other hand, is a set or a collection of sentences which relate to one main idea. Which relate to one main idea, or we can say topic or thought, and so on. And effective paragraphs have certain characteristics. So let's discuss characteristics of effective paragraph the way we discussed the characteristics of sentences here. Characteristics of effective paragraphs. Characteristics of effective paragraphs. Effective paragraph. The first one is unity. Unity. Now, candidates, in the context of a paragraph, unity refers to the extent to which all of the ideas contained within a given paragraph hang together in a way that is easy for the reader to understand. So when the writer changes to a new idea, one which is not consistent with the topic sentence of the paragraph, the writer should begin a new paragraph. And candidates, unity is important because it aids the reader in following along with the writer's ideas. And the reader can expect that a given paragraph will deal only with one main topic. So when a new paragraph begins, that signals that the writer is moving on a new topic. So that's what we are referring to as unity. So when you are writing a paragraph, which is a set or a collection of sentences, then the set of the sentences, the collection of sentences within that paragraph should relate to one main topic, so that if you want to begin a new topic or idea or thought, then you shift to a new paragraph, because that signals that the writer is moving into a new topic. So that is one characteristic of effective paragraphs. The second characteristic, coherence. Coherence, to cohere. Now, coherence in the context of a paragraph refers to the extent to which the flow of ideas in a paragraph is easily understood by the reader. And for that reason, coherence is closely related to unity. When a writer changes main ideas or topics within a paragraph, then confusion often results. And to achieve coherence, then a writer should show how all the ideas contained in a paragraph are relevant to the main topic. They should cohere. Coherence. I'm going to give you an example of a paragraph. I'm going to read here an example of a paragraph. I read. Schools should offer courses to help students with the problems of unemployment. Such a course might begin with the discussion of where to find employment, then cover resume writing and interviewing. Algebra and history don't help students with real-world needs. They are required courses that students aren't interested in, and this is frustrating for students who would rather learn about other subjects. If schools offered job skills courses, students would be well prepared for the difficult task of finding a job once they finish school. Now, I want you to read the paragraph again, candidates, and you'll discover that in the paragraph, the writer begins with the topic of job skills courses. Because the writer says, schools should offer courses to help students with the problems of unemployment. The writer begins with the topic of courses, that job skill courses, but veers off onto the topic of algebra. That is the third sentence. It says that algebra and history don't help students with real world needs. You can see here, the writer in the first sentences began by highlighting courses that students may pursue in order to attain skills. But in the third sentence, the writer veers off into algebra and history, which are courses that students don't need. Do you understand? The writer veers off onto the topic of algebra and history before returning to the main courses of employment. Because we read algebra and history don't help students, then they are required courses that students aren't interested in. All right? Then the writer comes back to the schools offering job skills courses. So there is no coherence. And because of the lack of coherence, the paragraph is disjointed and difficult to understand. On one hand, the writer talks of courses that students require. In the second sentence, third sentence, veers off to courses that students don't require. So there is no coherence. And that is what I mean by coherence. When developing paragraphs, there has to be coherence, which refers to the extent to which the flow of ideas or sentences within the paragraph is easily understood by the reader. There has to be unity of thought and how the writer arranges his words, arranges the sentences, and so on. That is the second characteristic of effective paragraph. The sentences within the paragraph must cohere with each other. There has to be coherence. And I've said this coherence is in a way related to unity. The third characteristic is that of adequate development. Adequate development. Adequate development. Now, candidate, a paragraph is adequately developed when it describes or explains and supports the topic sentence. Okay? A paragraph, I repeat, is adequately developed if it does what? If it describes and supports the topic sentence. And if the promise of the topic sentence is not fulfilled, or if the reader is left with questions after reading the paragraph, then the paragraph has not been adequately developed. And generally speaking, a paragraph which consists of only 2 or 3 sentences, generally speaking, such a paragraph is underdeveloped. And a good rule of thumb to follow, candidates, is to make sure that a paragraph contains at least 4 sentences which explain and elaborate on the topic sentence. I have an example here for you to help us understand that point. And I read this paragraph. It says that the topics of leadership and management are both similar to and different from one another in several important ways. To be effective, a manager should be a good leader, and good leaders know how to manage people effectively. Now, candidates, here, the topic sentence in this paragraph, I want you to look at it again. The topic sentence. The question here is, what is the topic sentence in this paragraph? Now, candidates, the topic sentence here promises to discuss or explain points of comparison and contrast between leadership and management. But the remainder of the paragraph falls short of fulfilling that promise. Because we read the first sentence that the topics of leadership and management are both similar to and different from one another. That is the topic sentence. That introductory part of the paragraph promises to discuss similarities and differences of leadership and management. But when you move on to the rest of the paragraph, that promise is not fulfilled. The topic sentence, I repeat, promises to discuss the leadership and management, both in terms of their similarities and their differences from one another. But the rest of the paragraph does not fulfill that promise. And I've said that a paragraph is adequately developed when it describes or supports the topic sentence. The topic sentence here is similarities and differences of leadership and management. the rest of the sentences within that paragraph do not do that, did not fulfill the promise. So this paragraph, you can say, is not adequately developed. And you can see here, candidates, only one point of similarity is raised. It says that to be effective, a manager should be a good leader. That is only one point that is raised. But the rest are not explained. Even the one that is raised has not been explained. When you just say, to be effective, a manager should be a good leader, that point is not explained. There are several questions that remain unanswered. One may ask, then how are leaders different from managers? In what specific ways are the two alike? And why must a manager be a good leader? Why must good leaders know how to manage people effectively? Those are questions that are not answered. So the promise of the topic sentence has not been fulfilled within the same paragraph. So this paragraph is not adequately developed. Now we move on to the fourth characteristic of effective paragraphs. Number 4, topic sentences. Topic sentences. Topic sentences. Candidates, beginning a paragraph with a topic sentence is one of the best ways to achieve clarity and unity in one's writing. And the function of a topic sentence is to describe what the paragraph will be about. When beginning a paragraph, make sure you begin with a topic sentence. A topic sentence helps the reader to know what the paragraph will be about. The main purpose, the function of a topic sentence is to describe what the paragraph will be about, such that the reader has clear expectation about what will follow. And an effective topic sentence typically contains only one main idea, and the remainder of the paragraph then develops that idea more fully, offering supporting points and examples. And after reading a topic sentence, one should be able to anticipate the type of information contained in the rest of the paragraph. And if the remainder of the paragraph does not fulfill the promise of the topic sentence, then the paragraph will lack unity, will lack coherence, will lack adequate development. And I have an example here, general example. Let me read it. It says that the cockroaches that inhabit many city apartments and homes are parasites that are almost impossible to exterminate completely. Now, candidates will notice that the topic sentence here is just on cockroaches. Just cockroaches. It also indicates that that topic sentence indicates what the remainder of the paragraph will be, including the problem of exterminating cockroaches. So the reader can then expect the rest of the paragraph to explain how and why cockroaches are difficult to eliminate. Another example here is our topic sentence is that I read, many television cartoons contain an unhealthy amount of violence. That is the beginning of a paragraph. And candidates here notice that this sentence clearly identifies that the key topic of the paragraph will be on violence in television cartoons. And it also indicates that the remainder of the paragraph will discuss how much violence cartoons typically contain and how or why this violence is unhealthy for the viewers. So these are topic sentences. Topic sentence. Candidates beginning a paragraph with a topic sentence, I've said, is one of the main or the best ways to achieve clarity and unity in one's writing. And these are the characteristics of effective paragraphs. And that will mark the end of our today's lesson, where we sought to study sentence construction and paragraph development. In this lesson, I've defined sentences, I've defined paragraphs. I've said that a sentence is a set of words which makes up a complete thought. We've discussed the characteristics of effective sentences. 1, unity. 2, coherence. 3, variety. 4, economy. 5, proper selection. Then number 6, simplicity. We've gone further to define paragraphs. I've defined a paragraph as a collection of sentences which relate to one main idea or topic. Then in conclusion, we outlined the characteristics of effective paragraphs. Number 1, unity. Number 2, coherence. Number 3, adequate development. Number 4, topic sentences. So these are 4 characteristics of effective paragraphs and 6 characteristics of sentences: unity, coherence, variety, economy, proper selection, and simplicity. Now, that will mark the end of our today's learning session. I'll give you one assignment. Explain 4 characteristics. Explain 4 characteristics of effective sentences. Thank you for attending our today's lesson. We've completed the study of the first subtopic under writing skills. In our next lesson, we will take on a new subtopic, which is business letters. Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless you.